Ice Cube. I went old school.
You're listening to Girth and Mirth.
Compton.
You're listening to Girth and Mirth Bears on the PJ and Friends Radio Network, Dallas, Texas. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the station, owners, management, and sponsors. If you find any content disagreeable, you may exercise your right to change the channel. And now, on with the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we are. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's PJ with Girth and Mirth Bears podcast. It is Saturday, June 4th, 2022.
2022?
Yeah. We went
again?
Yeah.
It was 2022 yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Motherfucker.
It's Groundhog 2022.
I'm about sick of this shit, man.
Groundhog 2022. I got to fix some stuff here, but we'll do that later. In the house, we have Keith.
Hello, how y'all doing?
We have Todd.
Howdy, everybody.
First time he's been on the show.
Charles.
And we have Randy back from his extended leave of absence because of his dancing injury.
Yes, thank you. It's good to be back.
He went dancing on people's graves and they grabbed back. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. How did the shaving go?
Huh?
Who?
What?
I don't know.
Third base.
There's this thing, where...
Can you bring? We need a minute. Bring that up so we can. Anyway, no. Never mind.
Anyway, it went really, really well. I had this most amazing barber who took his time and trimmed and shaved, and it's, held the mirror for me so I could get a good look at it because all this bullshit's in the way. And now I have a nice, smooth penis. Pictures available. Just send me a DM.
And scrotum.
Actually, I ain't took a picture yet, but maybe we'll do something live,
Yeah, we'll put it on Growler.
Right.
We don't want to get blocked.
Right.
So let's see. This week has been weird. Junior went out of town on Wednesday. He went to Alabama to visit friends, and I think to get his groove on. So I think he's grooving and friending, friending and grooving, which is fine with me. Hey, go at it. I don't know if everybody knows you, so introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself and what you're looking for in a man. Oh, you already have one.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Todd. Born and raised right here in Dallas, Texas.
Metalhead.
Gainfully employed as a registered nurse, a fellow metalhead, along with my brother over here, Keith Chamness.
Yep, that's how we met.
Of the rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just living life.
Yeah, he's an RN. He gets in there. Do you still a trauma nurse, or you used to be, or?
Oh, my nursing career is varied and sundry, kind of all over the place. I've done direct patient care, but it's been a really long time since I did any of that. I have had administrative jobs now for quite some time. So doing the administrative business side of healthcare right now. Has its own challenges.
Yeah, and I know you left nursing for a while, and then you went back after COVID started.
Is that you or the?
Yep.
Mine's turned down.
I did go back. I was working for a private company in Las Colinas and doing healthcare administration and contract compliance work for federal programs that are involved in healthcare. But the pandemic hit, and I was one of the unfortunate folks that managed to lose their position, and 9 months later landed back at a hospital in a business administration safety role, and I'm really digging it.
Well, we appreciate your service. I know you probably really wasn't looking forward to going back into all that mess. Early on, it's still scary, but early on it was really, really scary because nobody knew anything about what was going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Looking back now, you think, oh, well, maybe the country made a lot of bad decisions on the shutdown and some of the things they did. It worked in other countries, but their citizens were more compliant, mainly because they're forced at gunpoint. I don't know. It was so scary. Nobody knew what to expect. Oh, it stayed on services for 17 days. Now it stays on services for hours. You know, you didn't know. And there's been so many scary movies about pandemics. You know, everybody freaked out. You
Absolutely.
know? Yeah.
But it's still here, and it hasn't gone away.
Yeah,
The variants are still coming around.
Numbers are going back up again.
The numbers are starting to tick back up again.
I said after my third shot that I was done. I'm not getting any more. But on the 8th, I have an appointment to get my next shot. I'm getting my single shot. I haven't had my single shot yet, so I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the 4th shot
Good
while I'm there.
For me personally, I got the booster and the flu shot at the same time last year, and we'll do the same this year since I'm now eligible for the 4th booster, and just get those right at winter time when it's probably going to see spikes again and all the respiratory illnesses that go around during the winter months.
There was a thing about that first year too, is with everybody wearing masks, the flu was way down.
Oh, absolutely.
First year,
yeah, it was way down.
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't know. When we first had to wear a mask, I could wear it, and I could wear it all day, and I was fine. Then when we finally got the chance to where we didn't have to wear them at work anymore after we were vaccinated, and then I went back to where we did have to wear them regardless of vaccination. Man, it was fucking tough, man. It was hard for me. I was okay with it at first, but it was hard for me to go back to it.
It's tough. The healthcare workers out there are wearing them all the time because we're around patients that may or may not have that. So it's just safe.
When I have to go to facilities, I don't wear them anywhere else, but when I go to our facilities, I have to wear them basically because of the nature of the facilities. And I think in the medical environment, I think it's going to be the norm now. I don't think we're going to get away from that, which is not horrible. But I do notice
I'm not hearing you.
You're not hearing me? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Now you're too loud. No, I'm just kidding.
So, anyway, so I think the facilities, you don't have to stop now. We're going to watch. So I think facilities is going to be a normal thing because people at the facilities, it's odd because some of the nurses, and there's nurses and then there's nurses. And I'm going to say this because, like my mom went to a 3-year nursing school years ago that's when, we're talking in the 60s when 3-year nursing schools were. And then there are people that if you go to some of these schools where it's basically like a glorified study group to pass the test. You know what I mean? There's nurses and then there's nurses. So there's real, and so, and you can tell the difference by how they act and how they talk and their they complain about the masks, but, I can't wait to get rid of this. I don't want to wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. But I think a real doctor or medical person understands the necessity of a mask and understands the value of that. And so when I walk into a facility, which is usually rehab facilities or nursing homes, things like that, you got patients there that are very vulnerable. So even if nothing else, you got to protect them. So even if we were fine and everybody else was fine, you don't know the state of that patient. So you got to be careful. But I think it's here to stay. I think masks are here to stay.
I think 90% of our employees are vaccinated and had signed the form saying that they don't have to wear the mask. I'm one of the only 2 or 3 that doesn't wear a mask. Everybody still wears it. But I don't handle anybody's food or tickets. I'm not exchanging stuff with people. So,
yeah.
I've talked with lots of people that said they're going to keep wearing one forever because they kind of like the anonymity and not having to interact with people. If you're more introverted, it's a good way to not have to talk with people. And so
remember Jack told us at breakfast last week, he's the pharmacist here at Kroger.
Oh, yeah.
Said that a lady argued with him or got mad at him, and I think maybe even complained on him because he didn't smile because he had but he had a mask on. He got in trouble for not smiling, but he had a mask on. So how does she know? I mean, you can tell in the eyes.
It's the eyes, yeah.
Still, come on. But, after the SARS outbreak decades ago over in China, they started wearing masks, and a lot of them had never stopped. And even in America, back that TBRU that I went to, the one they canceled after the first day, I saw a bunch of Asians walking around the area downtown, and they had masks on. So Probably the safest thing to do. I don't like it.
You don't like what?
Wearing the mask.
Well, I don't like it either. I know that like by the end of the day, my sinuses are all running and I've gotten used to where I can fold it just right so my glasses don't fog up. By the end of the day, my the humidity and all that, I'm just blowing my nose and it's crazy. But I think like the flu, we're gonna have constant variations. We're gonna have shots every year, and probably more than, which is fine. So I wish we could find out who created this and just beat the shit out of them, but it's kind of out of the bag now, so it doesn't really matter.
If the sign on this door says wear a mask, I wear a mask. I go to the doctors, I put on my mask. If it's required, I do it, and I don't complain. But if they say I don't have to,
yeah,
it's gone.
And though the smiling thing is it's hard. It's Junior.
Yeah, he said, "Who's in this chair?" Called his butthole.
Ouch. Thanks, Junior.
Hello, Junior.
You don't answer the phone when I call the main line. What the shit?
What are you talking about?
469-844-2207.
Oh, I didn't have the ringer on. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. So if somebody's calling in to the show, they can't get you.
I love you, baby. Hey.
Butthead over there named Keith.
Hey. I love you.
No response. Oh my God.
Are you there?
I love you too. Who's sitting over next to Keith?
That's Todd.
Todd.
Todd?
We have to have by contract, we have to have a nurse on the show. So since you weren't here, we went up, we upgraded to an RN.
Epic fail. Who's in my throat?
Randy.
I already told you that.
He makes it look good. You must be going through a tunnel because we're not hearing you.
It's just like when you're really here.
I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Junior.
He's right. I don't have the ringer on.
Fucking phone.
Yeah. I don't look at my phone when I'm off because my work phone because when I'm off the clock, they can call me and have me go to a facility. Apparently, one of our facilities that I manage, it doesn't have internet right now. Nothing I can do about that. So I saw a text saying, "Oh, just FYI." Which one was it? Let me see which one it was. Let me see what I do with it. Come on, open up. Really? Forever? Anyway, one of the facilities here is not. Here it is. Heads up, City View. Yeah, that's in it was at 7:57 this morning, so better damn well be fixed by now. I'm not going. Anyway, so I turn that off because once I'm off the clock, I'm off. Our guys sleep with these things, but that's not what you pay me for. So,
Right.
so I'm not going to do that.
I get paid from the first hello.
They do, and I guess technically I'm supposed to do that, but I'm not going to do that. So,
Right.
Anyway, so you do cruises too, right? You and Randy do cruises.
They're
Yes, we
fixing
do.
to go on the Halloween cruise. It's a bear cruise, right? Halloween bear cruise.
There is a bear cruise that's leaving L.A. At the end of October that we will be on with our traveling buddies.
And many traveling buddies.
My besties, Paul and Brian, will be with us, and maybe a few
I'm
others.
glad you have besties. We're strangers.
Well, he did
Yeah, I believe I've
posted it and
information out
invited everybody
there. Yeah.
multiple times. Almost a year ago was when he first.
think so. Yeah,
Right.
but I can always do that again. Get the
Well,
information.
no, that wasn't no. The cruise wasn't the issue. Is that we're not considered besties.
Oh, the besties.
Just I think we need to upgrade to a
Hi, Randy Broadway.
Nurse practitioner.
You were supposed to be here this week, Randy Broadway. I just want you to know that we saved you a chair and you didn't come, and I'm pissed at you.
Yeah, he does that,
Don't talk to me anymore.
He does that, though.
Okay, see, I'm over it now. You can talk to me again.
He's so damn cute. You know what I mean? He's so damn cute. And I'd like to get to know him, but getting him out of the house and away in any kind of, it's hard to. You guys
should have went on the cruise.
These guys are always busy. Always busy. So they have a life. How dare they?
A lot of besties.
Yeah, they do.
How dare we? Yeah.
So tell us about the cruise.
Oh, well, this is it's a celebrity cruise. It's been booked through a travel agency out of Ohio. Dan Howell, I believe, puts together a number of bear cruises through the year. This one leaves again end of October. It covers Halloween,
right?
So there's always going to be a big, Halloween party on the boat, costumes galore, like all that,
Springs,
all that good stuff. Yeah, and it'll sail down the Pacific coast of Mexico with stops in Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, and
I want to go to Cabo so bad.
Mazatlan, I believe.
Yeah.
I could have.
Sounds like the Love Boat.
Slightly.
I just want to go to Sammy Hagar's club, Cabo Wabo.
Cabo Wabo Cantina.
Man, I want to go there so bad. I do, man. He's always been one of my favorites.
He makes a good tequila.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
And plays a mean guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Saturday to Saturday, 7 days, and we'll stay after a few days to do some sightseeing in LA. A little bit of Hollywood stuff, maybe Disney or Universal, something like that.
You I forgot what I was going to say, so I'll come back to it. I'm really tired. I went out last night. We went out to dinner, the Roadhouse, and Adam was with us. Adam, Mark, and Randy, and then afterwards, I sent a message to Adam. Hey, you want to go to the casino? So we drove up to the casino, and I didn't get back till 1, and I'm not usually up that late, so my brain's a little fried. But I actually liked it. I'd been in the house for a couple of days because I had about a vertigo this last week, and I hate when that happens. Right. I couldn't function. I could barely function.
So how did you do at the casino?
Hey, Stephen Lush.
I should have stopped at 300.
So much. Love you.
I didn't. I went there with the idea I was going to lose 100, so I did lose 100.
Plus.
After winning 300.
After won like 350, and then I said, "Oh well, Junior would have told me, well, go get the original 100 out." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I came here with the idea I was going to lose." So, and as I'm doing this, as I'm hitting the button, this does not make sense. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing? Oh, it's gone.
You created the self-fulfilling prophecy.
I'm like, well, but it was a distraction.
You were determined to lose that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna. Why should you just walked in there and here, take this? I'm gonna go home now.
Yeah.
I'll have Todd post you a link of the cruise afterwards. I know it's only a few months away. It might already be booked. It's this October, but I'll have him let you know.
Yeah.
It's the end of October, runs early into November. It covers Halloween and
it'll be a party.
Sells out of L.A.
Sells out of L.A. And Southwest will take you.
So see, okay, so both of you two, right? Mm-hmm. And oddly enough, I wouldn't picture Randy in this group, but since I know you now, but imagine you being so into metal, and imagine you you're like responsible, all clean cut, like nurse of the year kind of thing, like come to our hospital, have surgery, and then like after hours, it's like shaking his head.
You got to see this dude at a fucking metal concert, especially like when Ghost was on or during Judas Priest. Him and Tony, man, we were all,
so take videos the next.
Maybe
time.
I was tired, but these guys, man. I guess maybe it's the beers too, but man, he rocks his ass off at the concert.
But the thing is of all people though, because Randy is so reserved. He's like a Clark Kent. He's like so reserved, right? Yeah. Just humble and quiet. But it's hard. But he talks about these bands just like any hardcore fan, right? He knows his stuff. But it's hard to picture this mild mannered guy, kind of reserved and everything, just going letting loose and banging his head. I mean, mosh pit stuff.
I don't see Randy get up and move too much during the shows, but I know he really enjoys it.
Does he at least tap his foot?
He'll tap his foot along, depending on
now,
what
I don't
it
know
happens
about
to
you,
be.
but like back when I started back in the 80s, it was like shoulder length
long hair. Yeah.
90s, middle of my back.
Yeah.
You know, so I had the long hair and the look, and of course we wore the spikes until they outlawed the spikes, but we still had the leather bands and all that stuff. And now I go, I'll wear a band shirt just so I don't look like a complete nerd there. But the haircut, we actually fit in with the groups we go see now. Judas Priest, man, there's so many fucking hot daddies at the.
Yeah, that's true though. That's true though.
I mean, God, they're all gray hair and and I'm like, fuck, walking around with a constant boner, man. It's like paradise, the best music ever, and hot daddy.
But here's the thing: if you saw these people out in public, right, and you don't know them, you would never think that. It's not like it's a sin or anything, or like the dirty little secret. He's in the middle, but he's upstanding. Let me give you a shot in the ass today. Oh, by the way, I'm going to the concert tonight.
Yeah, Ted, the accountant, on the fourth floor is suddenly, banging his head the next night. That's pretty much.
You just never know.
Yeah,
man.
well, the music attracted me as a teenager because of, there's the whole rebellious aspect of it to some degree. And I think sort of some innate way, Judas Priest happens to be my favorite band. That the leather and the whips and stuff. The homoerotic type sense of it, even way before Halford was out. But it's a driving beat. It's very cathartic for me as a way to sort of bang my head and
I was telling
beat
Randy
my fists a little bit away.
Talking about metal in the car, and I was telling him, you listen to this loud, screaming, aggressive, really, and it just relaxes me. I get out of the car, I feel so much better.
Yep.
It makes the day better when I don't know. It doesn't make you angry or violent.
It's an outlet.
Get out the aggression, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the mosh pit's the same way.
Mosh pit is the same way. You go into a mosh pit, beat up other people while you're in there, but when you leave, you feel like
Yeah, it's the brotherhood of the pit. It really is. It sounds kind of odd and strange, and the wall of death, and it all looks brutal and stuff. Man, and it can be. I've come away with many bruises and broken bones from my mosh pit days.
But you had a good time.
But I had a good time.
Yeah.
And
I'm in traction, but I had a good time.
At my age now, I'm standing on the edge and pushing people back in as opposed to actually participating. But there's the energy flowing from that.
20 years from now, all you guys going there in walkers and oxygen tanks. Yeah.
And there's so many rock bands that I really, really love, like Boston. Growing up. Yeah. Boston and Joan Jett and somebody else came just a few years ago, and we went to that. And everybody's watching the show. They're standing up. They're drinking their beers. They're watching the show. The music's really good and stuff, but it's like we're just like there, man. And then the next week it's Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, and it was like in the crowd. The energy is so much different at those concerts, man. It's crazy.
So no, you get to know people and you see, but you behind the persona that the average public sees, and it's really kind of. Let me see. There have been people that I've seen over the years. Let's talk a little bit before I go to the next thing. Let's talk about the music a little bit. There are bands today, versions of the bands today, like Journey, good Lord, Pyromania. Who sings Pyromania? What's Def Leppard? They don't sound the same anymore. No. And there's some that need to just stop. I mean, I love them, I want them, but they can't hit the notes they did. They can't do it. David Lee Roth should never been back in Van Halen because he couldn't do it. Right. I went to at Disney. I would go to these or they would have these Eat to the Beat concert series where they have bands come in, and you every 30 minutes they do a little bit of a show, like a couple times a night, and you had Dennis DeYoung come in, and unfortunately, if you've seen Dennis DeYoung by himself, and then you see Styx, the remainders of Styx with Tommy Shaw and all that, he's aged horribly. And now he walks around on stage like an old man doing air guitar. But his voice is one, you hear it. It's him. But he really needs to just sit down because he looks ridiculous. But the voice is there, right? Now, I've watched Tommy Shaw. There's some stuff they did. He did some stuff with some college or some orchestra, choir and orchestra in Chicago, I think it was. And this man can just genuinely sing. He's got a great voice. Mm-hmm. But then you look at Def Leppard, and you look at like Journey where they replaced Steve Perry. Now the guy sounds like him, but the English is just off enough that it doesn't sound. I know there are people that'll tolerate it.
Steve Perry is, I don't know if anybody's ever going to sound like him. You can just only get close.
Well, I get that, but they in that aspect they tried to, because of the way the songs were so iconic and his voice was necessary for the success of those things. They had to find somebody, and it, to me. But when you guys go out now, do you ever walk away? Well, are you satisfied, or do you sometimes walk away thinking this person probably shouldn't be up there anymore?
Okay, so the last time I saw Van Halen was I think in 2016. I was very disappointed with David Lee Roth.
Oh yeah,
the show. He tried. His little raps in between were okay, but Eddie made the difference. Eddie makes the difference because Eddie's Eddie. But I was really disappointed in that. But there's been a few. The last time I saw Rat, the only original singer or original member in the band was the singer, and I left happy because the band sounded like the band.
Right.
I see enough cover bands that are close but not quite exactly the same. But when you're paying full price to see somebody, bands like Def Leppard, like you brought up, their music in the 70s sounds nothing like their music in the early 80s, and then the later 80s and 90s sounds nothing like the early 80s. But their sound is involved and their songwriting is improved. I just don't like it. I like the older stuff.
Yeah,
rocked a lot harder.
But do you feel are they able to pull off the ranges that they had back when?
Okay, I saw Metallica in 2016, and I haven't liked a lot of the newer Metallica stuff. But whenever they played their old stuff, it was just as great as it always was. As a matter of fact, the entire show was amazing. They're incredible.
Now, there are bands that do more of a show, pyrotechnics and a whole thing around it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then there's people that they sort of put on a show, but it's not like, it's not a presentation, it's not a theme, the kind of thing and all that. Which do you enjoy more? Do you think thought into the show aspect of it helps, or is it? Or do you think people that are not as good musicians do the show to make up for the difference?
The musicianship of a number of bands that incorporate the theatrics,
right,
is in many cases as good, if not better, than those that don't.
Right,
and I will say, for example, in my opinion, Ghost, Tobias Forge always has excellent musicians. They're all masked and nameless if they're covering up, but there's a very much of a theatrical element to his whole show and his various personas that he portrays through his music. Conversely, Kiss, from the 70s was awesome. Kiss today,
it's all about the show.
It's all about the show because, bless their hearts, they've all aged. They don't have the moves. They can't. Just physically, they can't put on the same type of show that they used to.
So AC/DC has always been about Angus Young and his energy and his moving around.
Right.
And I don't know how he still does it. I don't know, when was the last time you saw AC/DC?
Oh, it's been a long time. But I can't imagine he doesn't really have heel spurs from that shuffle.
Yeah, but he still does his duck walk, and he still does all that and falls around and does it all.
Well, what about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But it's just, even when I saw him, I guess that was 2016, 2015. It was right before Brian Johnson had to leave and Axl Rose took over for a little while. Still an amazing show, but sometimes it felt like they were more just going through the motions. He does all the same stuff he did when he was younger, where before it was just like they were putting every ounce of energy into the show.
Well, I think you have, look at yourself. Can you do the things that you did 30 years ago?
No.
True.
Or, or longer. And especially someone's voice, if you don't take care of it,
true.
There's no way you're going to maintain that. You have to, and especially these metal musicians that I'm amazed at, the things they do with their voices is not good.
It's got to take its toll. It's got to take its toll.
Yeah. So, and then the energy. I mean, do you have the energy you had 30 years ago?
No.
No.
So,
but it's their livelihood too, so I understand why they want to keep doing
sure.
it, and it's their passion
they actually
too.
Exercise and do a lot of preparing.
People are still willing to come and pay
Rolling
to see
Stones.
them.
I saw the Rolling Stones last year, year before last year, I think it was. Man, they were amazing. Mick still gets around, not as well as he did, but he'll still do some flipping and twisting and turning.
But I think he's, and I've heard him in interviews about his
workout regimen,
his diet. He works very hard to maintain his physical.
But I think like the music that the Stones play doesn't require what some of the the Slipknot or Slayer. Oh my God!
Yeah, I would agree.
If you ever see Slayer, Slayer makes every other band look like they're playing in slow motion. I don't care how.
And it's true. It's true. There are some things that there's some music that I appreciate more live. I don't mind some classical music. I don't mind some easy listening. But when it's that kind of thing, I prefer that live because you get to see all the things that go in. It's an art because of all the different things they do to get things to happen. Same thing with a choir because having people sing at certain points and getting certain notes and tones and all that, and so there's an art form to it. Now there are some bands that's not relevant, whatever, but there's still a skill set to this, and it's like what's his name that passed away, the drummer, Taylor.
Oh, Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah. It's a shame these people go, the way they go, because some of these people are just amazing musicians. Mm-hmm. One of the things I always confused me, and I didn't know if it was a joke or not, but Rush, for example, as Geddy Lee got older, the way he sang some of the songs, the way he delivered some of the lyrics changed. And I don't know, maybe something, maybe it was something that he changed, or maybe if you hear like some of the live versions of Fly By Night or Tom Sawyer, the way he's delivering the lyric is different than when it was originally sang, or even because I saw them like 3 times, twice in the 80s, once in the 90s, and their shows were like just like you'd listen to it on but now I've heard him before what's his face passed away, but he delivers it differently. It's almost not even, it's like he's making fun of his own song. But then you got to wonder, has something happened with him? Something changed in his age, or is he just
Rush,
a dick?
But there's times to where his voice just gets on my nerves. Sometimes I can listen to him for days and days, and sometimes the song comes on, I'm like, yeah, and I change him. Randy Broadway mentioned Godsmack, great show. Yes. Slipknot has a great whiskey. I have no idea.
It's excellent.
Rammstein? Who's Rammstein?
Yeah, he said Rammstein. I saw Rammstein in concert a few years ago. They only got like 3 or 4 songs I liked. The rest, they were just kind of okay. It was all about the show and the fire. A lot of fire. A lot of fire, man. Fire. But they put on a decent show. I was mad because instead of, how in between bands they have a lot of house music playing.
Sure.
This was like a organ or piano or something, and it was real slow and mellow. And it played for 30 minutes, and I was ready to fucking leave.
Trying to calm the crowd down.
I was fucking ready to leave. It was terrible.
See, I've walked out of one concert, and it was late 80s, early 90s, and it was a Genesis concert. And the reason was, and I think I've mentioned this before, I was so high up because the only seats I could get, and they're very technical. A lot of their stuff is a lot of.
You weren't high.
I was way high up there, and they're the kind of thing that with I think that's when their Invisible Touch album came out, but because of the technical aspect of it and all the different synthesizers and all the different effects that they use, if you're not dead center in a certain part of the thing, it doesn't sound right. And I want to like them, and I did like them. I thought I got to leave here. I'm not going to like these people anymore. And then back then, now I look back on it and thinking, I look at, do they not? At what point do they sacrifice the sound? Are they aware they're sacrificing their sound for the number of seats? Maybe there are arenas that aren't good for this. Obviously it's a money thing, but I'm thinking, some point in time, I'd rather, I wanted to like them, so I actually just, they're saying you just sat down. I said,
think Pink Floyd and like Roger Waters is the only bands I've ever seen that actually had speakers all around the stadium. And when I saw Pink Floyd at Texas Stadium, and they had the little laser birds and animals and stuff flying around, it was like the music was following it.
Right.
And it was really great. But that last time I saw AC/DC, I was talking about, we were beside the stage. Sound was horrible. It was,
yeah.
So Randy Broadway again chimed in. He said he does more than taps his foot, by the way.
You know what?
Sometimes gets erections.
He had the opportunity to be here. He could call in. The phone number is 469-844-2207. The ringer is on. Let me make sure it's on. It is on.
Steve said no, he can't. I don't know what he's no, he can't about. What are we? No, who can't? I can or somebody else can't. What happened? I've been a perfectly good boy, Steve. I expect a reward when I get home.
Is he off today?
No, he's at work.
Oh. So, So, I don't know. Music, the more technical it is, the more reliant on synthesizers and sound effects, I think, will change on where you need to sit versus the quality of it. And I don't know.
So we're part of, I don't know, do you follow Jeff Hawkins on Facebook, some of the gay metal groups? I think he's like the administrator of some of them. There's gay metalheads and LGBT metalhead stuff.
Yeah.
So he posts a lot of articles, and I'll read a lot of them. And I read some about drummers, and they say the hardest drummer to copy is Police, the drummer from the Police, because he is so technical with so many little sounds and stuff that he plays that most just can't play it. Where everybody else thinks all the fast out of it, this is all it. But they say he just, because their songs are so slow and mellow, but the stuff he plays is so intricate.
He drops in those fills in between beats and or
right.
syncopates in. I can
things.
I can see that. PJ,
so I've
you
actually
mentioned
listened to some of it just to see, and they're right. It does. I'm like, wow, how does he do that?
Yeah. PJ, you mentioned you listen to and or like classical.
Yeah.
From time to time. I subscribe to the theory that heavy metal in many respects is just classical music with a lot of distortion, and it's electrified. There is a particular track by a band called Trivium. It's off their Silence in the Snow recording, and it's the intro. It's about a minute. It's called Snowfall. Beautiful arrangement with strings, timpani.
Mm-hmm.
It builds and then crescendos down. Get about a 3-second break of silence, and then boom, the guitars and the bass all kick in with the same notes and chord structure, but distorted and loud. It's just
I read
amazing.
some stuff on that too. That heavy metal is the closest to the old classical music with all the timing changes and the beats and the things. And I actually Googled Iron Maiden Symphony the other day, orchestra, and there's a Romero Symphony or something that does a lot of Iron Maiden stuff. And it's all, of course, orchestra. Sounds incredible. You would never know it was metal music.
I think of Beethoven's Fifth back whenever it happened to be arranged.
And if you put some distortion into that,
well, it's like what's it that group that does the Christmas music.
Trans-Siberian.
Yeah, they do a lot of neat stuff there. But I was watching, if you search YouTube, Brian May from Queen. Yeah, there's a gentleman that will take different songs and music groups, and then he will deconstruct it and talk about timing and talk about different techniques that they use. And Brian he's literally a rocket scientist, and he's actually worked with NASA. There was one point, this guy that was doing this got his attention, and because he was actually talking about it, and he did an interview with Brian May, and they were talking about the different songs and talking about the limitations of recording and tracks and all that from way back when to now, and how certain types of speakers and certain types of amps would get a certain type of sound, and then they would have to choose because they have maybe an 8-track or a 12-track recording system, but they'd have 13 tracks or 14 tracks. So they'd actually sit and think, okay, which of the performances could we lose less sound or less quality with, because they would have to record 2 things on 1 track.
Right.
And he would talk about this and how much thought that went into this. And it's kind of like watching a chef, and you look at his mind in the sense that it's so, you understand why he's a rocket scientist. I mean, he can tear it down to the note, to the sound, to the wavelength, to the size of the room, and so I love the interview because it was really telling.
Right.
And I thought it was a great thing because he is. I don't know if they went through all that when they were actually putting stuff together.
Right.
But he did talk about there was a couple of songs that, like I said, where they had to put more of the one instrument or one thing on one track, and they did play with it to see what worked, gave them the better sound versus not. Because when you have two things recording on one track, it's muted a little bit, it's mumbled a little bit, it's not as clear. And so, like, what was it, Bohemian Rhapsody, where they do the voices and all that, there are certain things they couldn't sacrifice. Those voices all need to have their own. So that's 4 tracks right there. Mm-hmm. If you got a 12 track, that leaves, so I wish I had links to it. But I really, if you haven't seen this, you really want to take a look at these things. So it's really cool.
I want to say the guy's name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. The 9 Inch Nails guy.
Trent Reznor.
He's like that. He's like a musical genius. They use him for a lot of movies and musical scores because of the way he's able to make all those arrangements and fit all that stuff together. He produced a lot of Marilyn Manson's albums, which are fucking incredible. I don't care what anybody says. But he does a lot of movie soundtracks and things, and produces lots of bands.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. He's in the chorus. And it's interesting, and even like we were talking about a couple minutes ago, the choruses are the same thing with regards to like baritones and different voice types and voice shapes and all that, and how they position them and how they use them with.
And they complement each other.
Now, my question though is there ever anybody there that actually just fakes it?
That's what?
Fakes it.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of guys that probably shouldn't be in the chorus, but
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I was thinking be the one guy in back.
I mean, there's
like a
large range of musical talent.
Yeah,
We've got a group that big. So yeah, there's always going to be someone that can't quite hit a note, or whatever.
Are you wearing anything under the robes? Or?
We don't wear robes. We wear tuxes.
Are you wearing anything other than tux?
Of course. No,
you should be a rebel. Wear a kilt.
One of the things that a good chorus, most of the emphasis is on vowel sounds and being able to match a sound.
Right.
How you say an ah vowel or a vowel or e vowel, and getting that color all the same. That's what causes the. There's all kinds of overtones that happen.
Right.
Got the chorus in tune, and everyone's, producing the same vowel sounds.
And it all complements each other.
That's what will distinguish a really good chorus from one that's mediocre.
Right.
So the emphasis on vowels. Once you get your vowels right, and sing enough, it becomes second nature. It's like muscle memory.
So what's harder, the being the person who's conducting and organizing all that, or just doing the singing?
Well, the hard thing is that there's such a turnover in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
There's constantly new people coming in that have maybe sung in a chorus before, maybe not, and that's what they spend the majority of your time on the first 3 or 4 weeks. Is how do you make the sound that we want?
So there's more than just having a great voice and being able to sing, and then actually being able to sing in a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, same thing.
I knew a lot of, when I lived in Minnesota, I had a friend that had a great voice. He sang, did a lot of weddings, sang for weddings and all kinds of things. And he said, "Here, come try it out for the chorus, the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus." So he did, and he hated it because he couldn't adjust to the discipline that was needed to produce the sound that they wanted.
Right.
And so he said, "I can't do this. It's not me." So, even though he had a great voice.
It was more of a soloist than a chorus singer.
Well, that's his instrument, and he had his niche, and, the way he used his instrument was within that space. So it didn't necessarily lend itself to, other genres of vocal music that could have been something he wanted to do, but just didn't really work out. So.
But like with other bands and stuff, when you guys travel, because you have traveled to New York and other places and sang, do you guys prepare anything different when you're in a different space? I mean, if it's a larger space versus a smaller space, and I mean, is there anything that you guys do as a choir that gives a better performance depending on the space that you're in, or is that all handled by the guy doing the mic stuff?
Yeah, we don't, in my experience, don't spend a lot of time on that. Other than if you're in a really small space, you want to kind of pull back a little
Right.
bit because then you're, making too much sound. But no, I've not had that experience.
We should do a skit about a choir doing elevator music in the elevator with people going up and down the elevator.
There'd be a lot of murders.
That'd be bad.
It was only one floor. How'd you kill 8 people?
Well, they sang.
I had a quick reloader.
Oh man, no, this has been good, man. This has been living or dead. Who's somebody that you'd like to see that you haven't seen?
And the biggest band that I would want to see that I never got to see is Led Zeppelin. I'd love to have seen them in their prime.
Yeah.
They say that was one of the best bands, touring and live bands ever. Although if you listen to recordings of Jimmy Page, he sounds like crap. But you see some bands live and they sound just like they sound on the record.
Right.
Jimmy doesn't. I guess, you get into the feel, however you feel, or it's going. And they're incredible. I would love to see Led Zeppelin.
What about you?
The band that I never got to see, Queen.
Yeah.
Never got to see Freddie Mercury in his heyday.
And I like when they've added people to do the singing, it's Queen with so and so. They don't call it Queen. Right. You know what I mean? I like the fact that they accept the fact that whoever is singing at the moment is not Queen, not part of.
Right, because they had like Paul Rogers and then
what's that guy's name?
Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert.
And he
somebody told me he was really, really good.
He was good. Really was good.
Saw him with Queen, right?
But I like the fact that they honored the. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a disrespect at all to the person on stage,
right.
But nobody ever could replace that spot. No one could ever do it.
And I left out Stevie Ray Vaughan. I would love to have seen Stevie. I had opportunities and I never did, and I really wish I would have. I have so many videos and recordings and stuff of him. He's incredible.
What about you? Is there somebody you'd want to see that past or present?
I would agree with Queen.
Yeah.
And, the Beatles. But, that was...
Okay. I didn't used to like them, but I would love to go to that
see
show
them
too.
live. Unless you lived in New York City or wherever they did their out. And they just, they quit performing because it was just too crazy. Right. With the crowds, and it was way before crowd control, and
right.
But yeah, that I grew up with that. That's my musical base, the Beatles.
And now you, PJ.
I would like to have seen the original Journey, with Steve Perry. I would have liked to see the original Styx together. I would like Leonard.
I saw the original.
Leonard Skinner would have been a good group to see.
I've seen the Skinner like 5 times, but not the original.
Right. And that was a really dumb reason to die, running out of gas in the plane. I mean, give me a break. Did you know the plane flew out of here?
No, I did.
Addison.
Did it really?
Yes, it did.
I know it was
charter was out of here,
and that that was going to be its last flight, and it was going in for repairs.
Yeah,
they should have never made that flight.
So,
I had tickets to see the original Journey, and it was with a chick that I had been dating, an older woman. I think I was like 18; she was 28. We'd had some great times together. So,
you did.
But when it came time for the show, I really didn't want to go, so I hooked her up with my friend Marvin. And then Marvin come knocking on my window about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He was like, "Man, the show was great. I hooked up with Lisa," and then they ended up getting married. And then like 10 or 15 years later, they were still together. I don't know if they are now. I know they fought all the time because they both drank way too much. But I had just gave them my tickets. I had tickets to see them, and I didn't go. And the one show I went to that I really, really didn't enjoy, and I might have walked out. I don't remember if I did or not. Was Foreigner, which I love Foreigner so much, but I was so bored at the show. I guess maybe because I had been to so many metal shows, and then was watching Foreigner, and it was boring.
Yeah, Randy answered your question We are talking about concerts, and I wiggle and shake my head and jump around and stop my feet and act crazy, throw my fists in the air, etc., etc. I'd like to watch him wiggle.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Yeah, I'm obviously in my own
Yeah,
world doing
Randy, we definitely need to go to another concert because I do not remember that happening. At Judas Priest and at Ghost, either one, I do not remember that happening.
Well, maybe he was being reserved.
In his defense, though, I was watching the stage. I was watching Randy.
Right.
So when you go to these shows, do you put anything ear protection?
I do not. That's why I have tinnitus so bad.
Oh wow,
Like really bad. I mean, I remember standing right in front of the speakers at D.O. and some other concerts where we were on the first or second row. So fucking loud, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I go to these shows and then come out of them going, man, I really need to get like some noise canceling earbuds or something because this is just really getting to be too much. And then by the time the next show comes around, I've completely forgotten about it. So yeah. But I've also blown out, probably my ears as much as you have.
Have you guys seen the Grateful Dead?
What?
Any of you seen the Grateful Dead?
No, but I hear there's one of the greatest jam bands ever.
Yeah. I think that's one I would like to go see.
So I have these little things that you put in your ear. They're not actually earbuds because they have an opening in them, and they kind of curve down and fit into your ear. And it's supposed to, like, cut out a lot of background noises, like if you're on the street, all the car noises and stuff. And it cuts out. And at concerts, it's supposed to help things come in clear. And I ended up buying them, though, because I was reading all these reviews on them, and everybody was saying how much it helped with their tinnitus. I don't know if it was because I put them in and I was just hoping it was gone, and I was listening to see if I could hear it. I could hear it.
Yeah, you're listening for it. So it's
I don't remember. I think I wore them to a concert once. The one in the left ear I always had trouble keeping in. It's the same with my earbuds. I always had trouble keeping the one in the left ear. The right ear is fine, but I still have them, but maybe I ought to try them at concerts again.
What are your thoughts about The Who?
I've seen The Who.
You did? You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
How was that?
It was a great show, man. Roger Daughtry and his fucking
yeah.
And, of course, Townsend. And it's great. They were, of course, older then. That was in the 80s or 90s when I saw them. And they were old then, but...
Yeah, well, they just came through town, and I had the opportunity to actually go to that concert.
Did you go?
Yeah. A buddy of mine hooked me up with a ticket. And, great show. Had a good time. I'm listening to this music, but it's not necessarily my genre or of my generation. So, except for the songs that I would know,
right?
I wasn't really, connected. So, it's nice.
But I bet the sound was really tight, right? It was really.
Oh, sound was good.
And yeah. I saw ZZ Top. I guess it's been about 10 years now. They were at the Dallas Music Factory, and man, sounded better than I've seen them like 6 times. But their sound was so tight, right? So incredible. It was an amazing show. I've seen hundreds, maybe thousands of concerts.
I had a friend in Oregon who was a big concert goer. He'd kept ticket stubs from every show he'd been in. He had boxes full of them. It's like, what?
It's something I wish I had done because I didn't do that.
Used to have a wall full of them, and then our house caught fire. Just one room, but it run some of them. But I got a bunch that still have a lot of smoke damage on them. But then I just quit collecting them because I got so many. And then it got to where you're scanning your phone. And at first I would no, I want hard copies, and I would pay extra for the hard copies, but I don't keep them anymore. I got a little box that has like 7 or 8 different guitar picks in it that I got shows. I got a balloon that dropped from the ceiling of the Motley Crue Girls show. Untied it and let the air out, and it saved it. I got Ted Nugent's pick, Gene Simmons, Kerry King from Slayer. I got several from White Zombie. I think I had Vivian Campbell's. Great guitars. Yeah.
Great guitars. Yeah, I've picked up a few guitar picks along the way, too. The only one that I can sort of remember was Bullet Boys.
Who?
Bullet Boys.
Oh, wow.
I got a Bullet Boys pick.
I got an Overkill one not too long ago, too.
So how does that work? You go up on stage and ask, have your pick?
No, they'll flip them out. They'll be playing the song, and he'll just flip one out, and they'll pull, because they got them taped to their stand, and they'll pull another one off, and they'll keep playing. And
so it's a thing.
Yeah,
they throw them, and everybody fights for them.
Yeah, if you happen to be up there at the end of the set, too, and they're doing their bow, you can.
Rat in 1985, Bon Jovi opened up for them, and I didn't like Bon Jovi. And we were on the 5th row, and we all sat down there in Bon Jovi because they wasn't cool. We were metalheads. We didn't,
That's
The
poser
lights come
rock.
on, and there's a Richie Sombrero guitar pick under the seat in front of me, and I found it, and then I sold it to the girl whose chair I found it under. She gave me $20 for it.
Nice.
Right.
Entrepreneur.
Right.
Well, so you guys got concerts coming up this year?
And my next tickets are for Wasp, and that's not till November.
Yeah. That's cruise time, too. So we're not going to be able to go to that one.
There's a concert in June, I think just in like 3 weeks. I think it's the 23rd. It's Cinderella, Faster Pussycat, and L.A. Guns.
Tom Kiefer Band is also on that bill.
Yeah.
You might need to double check that.
Wait, who did I say?
You said Cinderella.
Yeah, I meant
it's
Tom Kiefer.
It's Tom Kiefer Band.
Yeah, it's Tom Kiefer Band. Way better than Cinderella. The Tom Kiefer Band is way better than Cinderella.
Yeah. That's someone who can still pull it off.
I don't know when the last time you saw him was, but he is incredible.
This is when they opened for Rat.
His whole band, man, they're just so good, man.
So,
like to see it. It's going to be at the Legacy Hall in Plano, which I've never been to.
On a Thursday night.
Now
it's on a Thursday.
When you guys,
Scorpions and Whitesnake are coming. They're going to be on a Tuesday night. I saw Scorpions in 2018. Incredible.
See, the thing is I'm the kind of person that likes, the pop, their popular songs, So I'm not a hardcore fan of a lot of these things. So once they played the one or two songs, I know I probably want to leave. And I apologize. I'm just not that, shallow, I guess. I don't know. But, back in the day when Napster was still a thing, I would download music, right? And I thought, well, if I download at least 3 songs, I'll go buy the album because it's worth, If I just like 1 or 2 songs, I'm not going to pay, $7 or $8 for an album. And, now you don't have to do that. But
when a new CD comes out from a band I like, I always buy it and play it in the car because everything sounds better in the car for some reason.
Oh, yeah. You have a good system in your car.
Over and over and over. And if it's a song I just heard one time on something, I might not ever listen to it again, but I end up falling in love with the whole album.
Right.
I saw Iron Maiden twice on the Book of Souls tour. I think that was in 2016 too. They got a song called The Red and the Black. Just kind of was okay with it on the track. Now it's one of my favorite songs of theirs live. Anyway, it just jams so hard. But
see, there are a couple groups that came out with albums that Tears for Fears came out with one recently, and I guess they were trying to score what they did before, and a lot of them said they were afraid to come back. They didn't want to come back because they didn't want to ruin what they had. You know what I mean? And they did anyway. And I listened to the album, and I'm like, "There's nothing grabbing me here. There's nothing grabbing me." ABBA did the same thing. They came out with an album that they did. They were just going to do like a virtual tour with or something like that, and it didn't hit. And they were afraid. They for a long time they weren't going to put more music out, and that was because they did not want to ruin what they had.
Their legacy, right?
And at first, I don't think they can do that because it's loved so much and it's been converted to so many different avenues there. But yeah, they couldn't do it again. And I don't know what. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's because you grew up with it. Maybe it's the emotion of the time when you were listening to it. Who knows? I know Tears for Fears when they come out. That I can't remember one of the guys that sings. And he has a horrible voice, but the way he does his range and the way he does the singing, it works. What's they have the Change was one of the first albums. They have the song Change on there, and they have a couple other songs. And I didn't even know they did these. I heard the songs and I didn't know. And I was watching a video documentary on them, and it talked about their history and all that stuff. And then they played some, and have you ever heard a song like you haven't heard forever, and then boom, you never knew who the band was. You guys probably would, but it immediately whisks you back to that time or that thing, and it grabs your heart and takes you with you. And so of course I went and got it on Spotify, and now I'm overdoing it. And it's like, okay, I've ruined the song for me.
What's the song?
Changed. They have another one. I can't remember the name of it. I have to look it up. But they have 2 that was on one of their first albums that were really good. But anyway, Depeche Mode. I liked Joy the Silence. I mean, that's the main thing I like. I like a policy of truth and personal Jesus. That's cool. But what's his name? Redid that one.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, his version is awesome on that.
Yes,
he really did awesome.
Right. So real quick, Stephen brought up that it is Gay Pride Month and the parade's tomorrow. Wanted to know if anybody was going.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that.
Never crossed my mind. I've never been to any Gay Pride event, so
I don't know. Where is it?
Fair Park, I think.
Oh, yeah. See, that would be. I think this is where the old age comes in. I'm like, do I want to go through all that? I don't know.
I would have to check the weather. If it's 100 degrees, I don't know.
It's supposed to be hot tomorrow.
And then they'll have $8 bottles of water for sale, and
yeah. Well, I don't know. I that's a whole story for another time. But yeah, my relationship with the gay community is different. But
it is Fair Park.
I think it's a young people thing.
It is.
Yeah.
I've been prideful for many, many years and don't need to feel I need to be in a bunch of people. But I know, if you're, 20 years old and just coming out, that's a great venue opportunity to experience.
Absolutely.
And I don't have a great desire to do that anymore.
Yeah, there's the gathering aspect, the community aspect that, as you say, maybe tends to pull in people that are younger in their life journey than perhaps us. But to that point, I did a number of marches down Cedar Springs in my younger years, and was there showing my pride in the way that I thought I could at the time, which was marching in the parade with the various organizations I belong to. Mm-hmm. So participate as you are so moved, and
I don't have anything. I'm not trying to be negative to anybody that
well, one of the
out, and it's just not where I'm at in my life anymore.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things that sort of came up for me, because as a long time, Dallasite, there was an event called Razzle Dazzle Dallas from way back in the day, and it was held at Fair Park, and it was just a massive dance party. Of course, we were all younger back then, and then it just kind of went by the wayside as the years went by. But I sort of I recall somewhat this outcry from the gay community when they were moving it back to Fair Park. I'm like, wait a minute, we used to have these massive dance parties with thousands of gay people at Fair Park, quarter beers and all that stuff. So I just thought there was some irony of it's not really the location, or it shouldn't be the location. It's what you are able to experience from attending, if you so choose.
Right. Well, so what's the prognosis with your foot?
Good.
You get to keep it.
I get to keep it.
Good.
Yes, no amputation involved.
Keeping it attached and not in a jar.
Yes,
and have a pickled foot.
Yeah, the wound is probably 80% healed.
Okay.
My surgeon's quite happy with the progress, and I see him again on Thursday, and we may be close at that point to not having this.
So after something like this, what's generally the recovery time? In other words, let's say when do they consider you recovered? At what point? I mean, is it months, years?
I don't have a hole in my
foot
anymore.
Okay. You don't have a pencil holder.
Yeah, exactly. So, I shouldn't have any restrictions once
you could just say, you were crucified and they missed.
No.
No? Okay. So.
Good try.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's, I'm hopeful that, by the next podcast, I would be boot free and vacuum pump free and to normal again. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess he's gone to the bathroom. So, and he's probably going to be there for a minute. But we were getting ready to end this thing.
I wondered if you'd have any other topics you wanted to touch on.
I can't think of anything. I don't know. There's so much going on in the country that I don't really want to beat a dead horse.
I don't even want to talk about it.
No, I don't. Nothing's going to change, and it never will, and we're done. So I hope it does, but I have no faith in our government or people that are running the government, and so I feel for.
I'm happy that I am not a father.
Oh yeah.
I'm not, a parent with kids in grade school.
Oh yeah.
And sending them off every day and hoping at the end of the day they will come home again. I can't imagine that angst, that anxiety about your children's safety. And if politicians cannot understand that, then they have no soul, they have no compassion, they have no empathy for what these kids and parents are having to go through. And it's like, we have to make the schools stronger. We have to put it on the kids' responsibility, the teachers' responsibility. And that's not why they're there. They should be able to go to school
carefree
and know that they're going to be safe.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just don't understand that.
Now
here we are talking about
but when I remember when I was in grade school and I was in high school, my biggest problem was were they serving pizza or tater tots for lunch.
Exactly.
And the thought of someone coming to your school, it just never, I was probably a horn dog back then, looking at the other guys in the shower thinking, how can I get that guy to play with me? But I can't. Now, they're talking about arming teachers and all that, and there may be some teachers that want to do that, but who wants that response? Look at how the cops are being treated. Not that they were right, but they were, waiting as long as they did. All the things that there were so many things wrong with this while kids were dying inside. But, there's no. I don't know. There is nothing. These people, these kids don't deserve this, and I can't imagine being a parent today. And I have some friends that are online that I watch as they do this, and I know the African American community for a long time had the same conversation with their kids, just sending them out into the community dealing with police. Are they coming home tonight? And I'll tell you what, until we're tired of it, until society is tired of it, and we vote these idiots out of office. And I honestly think it's probably going to be more painful than it's worth, but until we clean house and get rid of them all and start over, nothing's going to change. And they need to go, and they need to realize that, okay, we're not stupid. We're not sheep. We're not the lambs you're taking to the slaughter. We are going to hold you accountable. But we've got idiots that don't know and they won't do it. And so, welcome back.
Hey, how you doing? What'd I miss?
We were talking about your penis size and why is it bigger than most others?
Well, first of all, I exercise it quite a bit.
Genetics.
Genetics.
I pull and I pull and I pull.
You got a taffy machine at home? Taffy puller? That would hurt.
Steve said that's a lie. It's not that very big. What?
Is he texting or is he putting that on?
He said, yeah, I liked it on Cedar Springs too. You still talking about the parade?
Talking about
him
the
and
parade.
Randy. Who's 10 pounds lighter? Who's 10 pounds lighter?
I'm not seeing all the chats, so it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. $10 for parking. Oh, there it is. Okay. Razzle Dazzle was also on Cedar Level.
Take Dart.
He's 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Take the Dart.
Yes, Razzle Dazzle did move to Cedar Springs in its last few incarnations.
Well, I guess for us, we could take the train,
Somebody told me once that the Pride thing used to be in Fair Park and then they changed it. But I don't know if that's true or not because I've never been. So
It's true.
it's true.
It's true.
So was it better when they changed it or is it better now that it's back?
I'm not going to have an opinion on that. Because there are some that may like it at Fair Park. Some may like it still down on the strip.
Who cares if other people
It's,
agree with you or not? This is America. As far as I can still tell, this is America.
Yeah.
How'd Randy say it on Fair Park? It's America. Last I checked, this is America.
Personally, I'd like to see the parade and all of it back on Cedar Springs. And that may come to fruition one day.
Yeah.
Right.
It may not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I heard the Halloween block party down there was not as good this year.
I don't know. I was on a cruise, man.
That was relegated to a small.
He was suffering on a
You were
cruise.
on a cruise then too? Same cruise you're going on this year? Or?
Different cruise.
You guys were going one direction. We were going another. Because I went out. You guys.
Yeah, we sailed out of Galveston.
Yeah. So did we. I went on a second cruise, and you know, we actually ships in the night, literally, because you were going, and I think you had to bypass Key West, right?
That sounds right.
So yeah. But yep. Anyway, so we're gonna almost an hour and a half. Anything you got going on this week? Any good movies coming out that you're wanting to see?
This week is Jurassic World.
What did you think about Top Gun?
I liked it.
I thought it was well done.
Yes.
I was kind of waiting to be disappointed because, you know, usually these kinds of things are just to make another buck, but they didn't do too bad.
It's very similar to the first
Yeah,
one.
it
you
is.
know, it's just with the different characters.
It
but
is.
yeah, it was good. All the jet fighting scenes and the flying. And
It was
the
good.
action, man, that was
It was really
freaking
good.
awesome, man.
It was really good. So anything you have this week going on?
Man, I've got a good chill weekend coming up.
Good for you.
Yeah, because you know, these weekends tend to get filled up quite a bit. So, you know, we're social and we like to do things.
Well, Junior, yeah,
This will be, you know, like, you know, our weekend to just hang.
that's not bad though. Sometimes hanging's good.
Well, we got this weekend with really not much going on, but the following weekend, the 18th, is Carlos and James's wedding.
I bought he sent me a link to the Hawaiian shirts. And normally I'm a 2X now, but now I bought these as a 3X, and I'm thinking probably should have gone a
You got
foot.
to check and see where they're coming from. If they're coming from China.
I think they're from China. I think
way different.
I can return these, but I don't know if Junior's going to be. It's kind of like a throwaway shirt. Wear it once and throw it away.
I wrote a really bad review on one time that I got from China. It was supposed to be 3X, and it was probably a medium. And I wrote them a really bad review, and they said, well, if I'll take it down, we'll send you a new shirt and a refund. I never got either.
Yeah. So, we probably have enough time to order the right. You know, probably have to go to 4X to
telling
make
you,
them.
the Dillard's clearance places had so many of them.
And you're right.
And-
You're very right.
And they're less than $5.
You're right, and that's
My
probably what
friend
we should
picked
do.
out a bunch that were marked $5 and got up to the register and they were $1 something. So he bought 60 of them.
Yeah.
To
They
resell
they
that
do their
stuff.
clearance kind of funky, like at that store though. They'll say it's clearance and they give you a price, but that percentage isn't taken off yet. So when you get to the thing like that, the jackets we bought last year, it was gonna be like $200 a jacket or something like that. Oh, it's like 20% off or 50% off. We got up there, it was like $100 for a jacket. I'm like, oh really? So we went back, bought two. You know,
Right.
so I don't think the discounts that they say, I don't think they take them off the price on the shelf. They take them when you get to the register.
Right.
So it's usually less than you think it is. So yeah,
Right.
I've got some pretty good shirts there.
Yeah, and then, you know, Dillard's has good stuff. So this is just like last year's model or something. I don't give a fuck. You know?
Oh, no. Yo,
Oh, that's so yesterday, Keith.
If I'm hanging around people that know that's yesterday,
Too
that's
gay?
not the people.
They're
I
too
wanna hang
gay?
around with. Yeah.
Too gay.
Too fucking snooty.
Fashion police. So, and what do you got going on this week? Anything good?
No, I'm.
Who's shocking?
I get out of the house a couple times a week. That's about
Yeah. How much longer with the wound vac?
another week.
Another week.
Yeah, I see my surgeon on Thursday.
Yeah. So you do have something going on this week. So
Yes, I do have
You know, a fun outing to the surgeon.
two doctors appointments.
Yay.
yeah. Is it
And
cute?
I also have to see the
Penis doctor?
huh?
The penis doctor?
No. The infectious disease doctor who has me on 6 weeks of IV antibiotics.
Mm.
And I see no reason for that. And my surgeon doesn't see any reason for that. So I have an appointment with him on Thursday. Hopefully won't have to have this anymore.
Right.
So 3 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Junior will be back tomorrow night. He drove straight. He left at 4:00 in the morning on Wednesday. It's funny because he wakes up and he gets dressed, right? And he turns every light on in the house, turns his music on, which is fine. Usually I can't hear it. It's over here. But he hadn't packed the night before. 4:00 in the morning, suitcase goes on the bed, vroom, starts packing stuff. Go back to sleep. It's fine. I said, I can't. But anyway, so he got there safe, and He's been having a good time with his friends Don and Paul, and he'll leave tomorrow early and be here by 5 or 6 or something like that. So, and then our friend Joseph just came in, and he's going to be moving to Dallas. So,
yay, Joe! And
then we got you a bunch of shirts we got to try to give you. If not, we'll throw them out or get them to out of the closet. Is that the place called?
Yeah.
So, yep. But that's this week So last week I had a bit of vertigo. I'm feeling a hell of a lot better. God, I hope it's gone. So Monday I work from home, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I'm out in the field, and then Friday I might have to make up a facility I missed last week, but maybe not. We'll see. So other than that, we're good. So I think we're done. What do you think? You want to say anything else?
Love you, Steve. If you're still watching, if you're not still watching, I still love you anyway.
Yeah. So we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us on Girth, Mirth, Bears podcast. Do us a favor, please like us on Facebook, share us with your friends. Go to our website, girthmirthbearspodcast.com, and see you in 2 weeks.
Hold on.
Listening to Girth and Mirth Bears on the PJ and Friends Radio Network, Dallas, Texas.